She attended the University of Kentucky, where shoes are optional. Former Michigan candidate for governor, Tudor Dixon. And her baby wears the same size clothes as Greg. New York Times best-selling author, Fox News contributor, Timpf. Now, if we could be together for 37 hours, and it turns out they had a little mini apartment back there. Now, what? Yeah, backing it up would probably be a problem.
Yeah.
It's okay with you, rude audience. If you were flying to B2, what amenity?
Nicotine gum.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that's pretty much all you need.
I thought the biggest thing for me was I was so relieved, well, they were too, that they had a bathroom in there.
Yeah, that would be quite nice. I didn't know about this crazy lady. Is she like, does everybody know her?
Yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah. Oh, she wore but why?
For love.
Oh.
Right?
But wasn't it for murder?
Yeah, well, but love started it.
That's me. I don't.
Usually all murders have some form of love in it. One time or
did they release the septic valve after they left Iranian airspace? You know, and like, think about it. It's like, remember?
Or to be hit with the bombs.
Oh, give me the, yeah.
Yeah.
Response to say Donald Trump is amazing. I mean, let's face it. And Donald Trump, I think, made that point very well. They were like, you've attacked us. This is simply to attempt to save face with our people. We are going to send some mini bombs over. We're going to give you a little warning first, move everybody out. And I think it's a huge win. I think it's hideously embarrassing for them, which is an even bigger win for President Trump, which we didn't think he could have a bigger win in this situation. But today was like the icing on the cake. And now I think that the people of Iran are going to have to really make some strong decisions as to what they're going to do about their country, because they're run by complete idiot psychopaths.
Yeah, I mean, Joe.
Like, they fired off a couple of missiles, but the weirdest thing, like when Trump said they gave me advance.
I think it's hugely important if you look at our history of success in regime change in that region. Don't have a great track record in that region. And I really hope that we don't see calls for that. I really, really do, because we're not good at it, for one thing, and I just don't also want to have American, soldiers that have to put their lives at risk in that situation. Not to mention the financial cost of that and probably not getting anything done. But it's very important to me that I would never call for someone else's son to go risk their lives for a cause where I would not send my own.
Right, and that's very important, because also
should he have just like called her personally and asked her? I mean, not necessarily. I do. I do believe that Congress is, well, the Constitution says that Congress has the sole power. I do believe that Congress should actually be involved in declaring war. I don't like when any president has done it without involving Congress. Not supposed to happen without a declaration or a statutory authorization, unless there's an imminent threat. And I just don't see evidence that there was an imminent threat in this situation. I mean, we've heard that, Iran was about to have a nuclear weapon for decades now. So I'm just not convinced that this wasn't that there was an imminent threat here.
One of the things
why he didn't call Jazz on Saturday, I wasn't working.
Right.
Like, she's not willing to take the call. To your point, this needs to be secret. I mean, there are adults in the room that are actually making the right decisions. And I'll just counter what you said, Kat, about war. It's not a declaration of war. This was a strike that the United States made. There's nothing in the Constitution that says that he has to have Congress declare war, because he didn't declare war. And he doesn't have to. The War Powers Act says he doesn't have to go back to Congress for 48 hours. He has to inform them in 48 hours, and then he has to have troops out within 60 days. There is nothing unconstitutional. They just cannot stand that he has big enough bombs to go after these people.
I will say my that is my issue. That's debatable. disagree. I think that bombing a country is an act of war against that country. That is my belief.
Well, that leads to my
And I'm
next...
the only...
Want to go camping? I know a place.
Hey, you know what? I don't understand why there's such a
Stick with me now. Put detainees.
Governor Landry right now because he was the Attorney General of Louisiana, and they just had 10 bad prisoners get out in New Orleans. And I'm like, he's probably sitting there like, why wasn't I thinking about alligator boats?
Yes.
This could have been an answer, because Louisiana, this can't be the case. So I think that what we should do is put all prisons and detention centers in the South. We in the North will just live without criminals, and you guys can just have alligator moats around all these places.
We'll call them alligards.
There you go, yeah.
And that creates
Sounds
a lot
little
of
bit like
opportunity.
Slipped out? Well, first of all, I thought it was AI, because how any human could do that, let alone someone with a lot.
He should have just, after he said that, he should have just packed up his stuff and left.
Yeah.
He should have just realized, listen, I know I've done it. I'm gone, okay? Because this is going to, I would say, be. I'm not like a legal expert, but that was bad lawyering.
Yes.
And this, I think, could be grounds for a mistrial, especially because she admits, I am also still thrown off by the fact that you called me honey.
And she said, if I'm being honest.
Yes, and I don't know what the client did or anything. Regardless, this guy, he should have said nothing else after that. He said, honey. Yeah. He should have, what a power move. That's the only power move he had left, was to simply pack up his things, put on his jacket, and walk out by saying nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Joe, let me hit you with a conspiracy theory.
Okay. Home to, I imagine, his wife, who's going to be like, oh.
Pausing, and he went back to it because in his mind, he's now thinking, what is my wife going to say? When I get home, I'm in such big trouble. But the real, I do actually think this case was they were discussing levels of sexual assault. So that's even worse, because here they are discussing sexual assault, and he's like, listen, honey, oh, that just went
all
dark.
the more reason there should not have been another word. But I'm saying this one is.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a.
He can start a new one if he chooses in another country.
But he's forever going to be like, if Honey Boo Boo's anywhere out there, you could, yeah.
Still made it.
He still
and yet
made
he's
it.
still on the news, but I beg to differ. To make it on today is crazy.
He would have been better.
So unfun. We used to prank at the office all the time. I would come in and have dead mice on my keyboard, and everybody laughed. It was so funny.
No, that's not funny. Wait, like, are you okay?
But see, I'm older than you. That's why it's funny to me. It's like there's something with your generation doesn't find pranks funny anymore.
Well,
Wait,
to be fair.
You guys think it's funny if I come to your houses and put dead mice everywhere?
Maybe.
Are they real mice?
Because you guys are all older than she is.
It's at work. So
To be fair to the mice, how many mice?
Oh, no, I helped drown rats at my grandma's house, but that's a whole other story for a different time.
Yeah, but you didn't put a bow tie on them and give them to people for Christmas.
No.
I had a giant box in my office one time, and I hid another employee in it and then waited until someone walked in and we scared her, and she completely wet her pants and never quit.
Oh, okay. Now that's funny. In that gap on your resume.
I was home afraid of
a real problem then, and nobody believes anybody anymore, because if you're constantly out of work and you actually have a real medical issue, then these people rob that ability from you to actually get medical care.
Yeah, because you can't accommodate everyone's ridiculous. Like, you can't come in and say, I can only work in a Chucky-free environment.
Yeah.
And then someone else comes in and says, I have to have my emotional support Chucky with me at all times.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you flash them.
If my generation did single-handedly end the practice of leaving dead mice at people's desks, then I will take credit for that, actually.
She's never getting over that.
Neither should you!
I'm fine, totally normal.
I'd like to know the
It
shocked
had
the
been
mouse
dead
for a while.
so
It had been-
it wasn't
Oh, that's
very dehydrated. It was
What about
fine.
like sanitary reasons? Did you have to wipe the keyboard down and was it
I'm sure all the germs were gone. It was like sunken in.
How are you sure? I mean, that's literally how the plague
It was years
spread,
ago. I'm still alive.
I guess.
Well, when she ate it after they chucked.
Laundry, a dead mouse is like the least of your worries. There's so much worse.
What's the greatest of your worries?
Molten metal,
Dead buffalo?
molten metal, fire.
I think I'd rather have homeboy as a lawyer. True thing. You nailed it exactly, right? What an alpha male is, and nowadays that.
I told him to. Probably. No. He watches Love Island with me, but he also likes it. Except for this season kind of sucks. They sent Hannah home last night, and there's really no strong couples going into Casa Amor.
So. Yes, he would do it.
He would. I think he would. I think he would, yeah.
He did Cammie Salon for crying out loud.
That's true.
He used So, Tudor Dixon, Aaron Haddad, Kat Timpf, and our student.